Hi, I'm Amanda from the Circle Integrated Care Rehab team, and this video shows the exercises we follow on our escape courses. These exercises aim to increase strength and confidence in muscles and joints, especially if you're suffering with osteoarthritis. This video offers lots of variations to the exercises, so I do hope you'll find a level that suits you best. And remember to start off with the easy options and slowly increase the level if and when suitable. If you find your joint pain is worsened by doing the exercises, then do them for less time and stick to the easier options. Rehabilitation of muscle tissues can take up to 12 weeks to show improvement, so don't rush and don't expect too much too soon. It might be a good idea to watch the video through first to see how it works and to gauge the appropriate level for you. I show each exercise for 1 minute, but you're welcome to adapt this and do more or less as you see fit. All you need to start with is a bit of space, say about 2 meters square is enough, and a dining room chair to either sit or lean on. Please remember to wear supportive shoes, something like trainers, as this helps to support and cushion your joints. Enjoy the video, and I do hope that it's beneficial to you. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, let's get into the warm-up. Feel free to put some motivating music on if you wish in the background. And whilst I'm showing these exercises from a standing position, you can do all of these from a seated position if you feel that's more comfortable for you. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start by turning the head gently from side to side, just to loosen up through the neck. Remember to keep your feet planted into the floor and tummy muscles switched on all the way through the warm-up. If you want, you can turn that into a nod of the head. Just be careful lifting the chin up. And then we're going to take this into some shoulder rolls, a few times going backwards. And a few times going forwards. We'll wake up through the upper body now. You're going to reach your arms forwards and back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, reach those arms forwards, loosening up fully through the shoulder joint, the chest, and the upper back. Moving on down to the waist now, we're going to do what's called a side drop. You're just dropping your fingers towards the knees, allowing a little stretch on the opposite side of the waist, but whatever you do, don't let yourself tip forwards with this one. Just go as far as is comfortable and you can feel a little stretch. Staying with the waist, we're going to twist the upper body now, so take the arms out in front comfortably and just keep the feet planted into the floor, twist the upper body from one side to the other. Next, we're going to do a slow march, so gently lift your feet one by one off the floor, go at your own pace, nice and slow to start with to loosen up through the ankle and the knees. We're just trying to lift the heart rate a little and get the blood pumping around a little faster with this. We're now going to do toe taps. So you're going to tap the toes forwards into the floor with a little pause. As you can see here also, I'm showing you how you can hold on to a chair whilst you do this if that's better for you. And then we'll go into some heel digs. It's the same thing with the chair. If you want to hang on to a chair for a little bit of stability, obviously you're welcome to. With the heel digs, you dig the heel down into the floor, a little pause, lift those toes up, and that'll stretch down the back of the leg. Okay, next we're going to do some high knee marches. You're going to lift your knees only as high as is suitable for you. Watch your balance, and obviously use a chair if you want to. And then if you're able to, incorporate hand to opposite knee. Again, only if this is suitable for you. Don't push yourself if this makes you feel unsafe. So that's warmed the body up just a little bit. We're going to shake the arms and legs out. and then you're good to go. We're going to start with the main set now. We'll start with heel raises. You're literally lifting your heels off the floor. Quick little look at what we're doing. And the time is about to start. Here we go for a minute then. Slowly lifting the heels up and down. As you can see, you can rest on the back of a chair if you want to, or not, as you feel is appropriate for you. If you find it gets too much to work both heels at the same time, just showing you here how you can alternate one foot to the other if you want to. And if standing is too much for you, by all means you can sit down, lifting the heels off the floor, pressing your hands into your thighs perhaps, to add a little bit of extra resistance. Or you could even take some weights into the hands and pop the hands on the thighs with weights in them. Coming up for 5 seconds left on this one. And your next move is knee raises. Quite simply, you're lifting your knees. So from a standing position, if you want to, here we go. Time is about to start for 1 minute. Couple of different variations here, of course. You can use the chair to lean on. Indeed, you can sit on that chair as well, gently lifting the feet up off the floor. You will notice you're using your tummy muscles much more with this one. If you do have hip issues, just be careful with this one. It can aggravate. A harder version of this one is you can put a band around your feet. See how it's wrapped around the laces and underneath the foot there in that extra picture? That will add on a fair bit of resistance for you if you wanted to make it a little bit more challenging. Got about 10 more seconds left with the knee raise. Finishing off there, the next one you have a choice of either heel press or back leg press. I'm going to show you both first before we start the timer. So first I'm going to show you the heel press. You've got a close up on the top left and the bottom left shows how you can do this one seated. You're literally forcing each heel into the floor. Or you've got the back leg press, which is a standing version. You can use the chair, you're squeezing your bottom to take the leg back. On this version I'm showing you, you're tapping the floor, or you can hover the leg behind you. Just be careful it doesn't aggravate any back issues. Here we go. For a minute then. Remember to keep the shoulders back, tummy muscles in. Notice how I'm not tipping forwards when I take that leg back behind me. Extra little picture here going to show you a progression for the back leg press. Adding a band around the ankles will add some extra resistance to this move. So that'll make the hamstrings and your glutes, that's the back of the legs and your bottom muscles, work that much harder. So you might want to work up towards that level. Otherwise, stick to the lower levels. Gradually work yourself up through the progressions over the weeks and months as you get stronger. So next comes the sit to stand. I'm going to show you quite a few options here, so just take a look first. On the right here, we've got the original sit down, stand up. You're driving your heels into the floor and standing tall. On the left, there's a ball between my knees. Some people's knees do collapse inwards. If that happens to you, do use a ball or a cushion to support your knees and thighs. Slightly harder versions, you pop a band around just above the knees. That'll create a little bit of tension for the outer thighs, or the wall squat, which I'll show in more detail at the end of the sit to stand section if you want to try that one. So here we go then for a minute, sit to stand. Basically, you stand tall, you squeeze your bottom at the top without throwing the hips forwards, and you gently come back down into the seat. Now, if that's a little challenging for you, you can lift the height of the seat up by putting a cushion on that seat. You haven't got to go quite so low down. If that's still too much for you, or you need to take it easier for whatever reason, do a half a stand. So you're just using your arms, pressing into the thighs, pushing down with the feet to stand some of the way up, being mindful to control the way down. Easier still will be the leg extension. You can stay seated, squeeze the thighs to straighten the legs. You can make that one a little bit more challenging by popping a band around your ankles. So lots of options for you to choose from there. Do use them. See which one works for you best. Nearly there then. Okay, take a little rest. I'm just going to briefly go through that wall squat that I mentioned earlier. You pop the ball behind you, rest it in your lower back, lean into the wall, step your feet forwards about a foot or so away from the wall. Make sure knees and toes are pointing forwards. You bend your knees, drop your bottom down. Keep your shoulders back and the spine nice and straight. If you look down, you should still be able to see your toes. If you can't, you must bring your feet a little further forwards. Otherwise, it's putting too much pressure through those knees. So this is an option. Obviously, this isn't as well as you do this instead of sit to stand if you prefer. To come out of that wall squat, you must step back first and then take the ball out of the way. And on to your next exercise, which is the side leg lift. So this works the outer hip area. You're going to stand tall, lean your weight on one leg, take the other leg slowly up and out to the side. Just watch your balance. You might need to use a chair for this one, perhaps. So couple on one side, couple on the other. Let's get the timer started then for a minute. As I said, a couple on one side, couple on the other side. Try not to alternate, otherwise you end up just compensating and swinging from side to side. The leg doesn't have to go very high at all, only to where it's comfortable. Here's a slightly easier option for you where you're sitting in a chair. With this one, you can alternate from side to side. You sit towards the front of the chair and take each leg out alternately. And then the bottom right is showing you a slightly more advanced version where you add a band around your ankles. And it's the same process. You slowly take the leg out to the side and back in again. Here's all three versions then, the seated, the standing, and the extra version. Remember, if you don't need the chair for balance when you're standing, then don't use it. Allow your torso to support itself a little bit more if you can. That's another exercise done. Well done, everyone. And so on to balance then. I've got a couple of options for you. Standing on one leg, using a chair or the wall, just to make you feel safe and secure. If you wanted to make that option a little more challenging, stand on a plump cushion as it'll make you wobble a little bit more. Another option is to walk heel to toe as if you're on a tightrope. So we're going to start the timer in a moment. Here we go. So the key with balance is to look forwards, keep your shoulders back and tummy muscles in, and remember to breathe. It sounds a bit silly, but it's essential. We don't do a lot of balancing activities as we get older, and so this affects our confidence and our mobility. And so improving your balance can be key to keeping yourself active and keeping yourself strong. Those that are standing on one leg, you need to swap sides now. On the bottom video, you can now see a little add-on that I've added. As you step, you then lift your heels, come onto the balls of the feet, melt the heels back down and then step again. This slows you down and challenges that balance just that little bit more. You can also add a weight to one hand, which will pull you to one side. That makes things a little bit more challenging as well. Okay, last couple of seconds then, and your balance is done. So that's the main set of exercises dealt with. Next, I've got some extra ones. These are the ones that we add a little further on during the course. So if these are suitable for you, carry on with them. If not, wind forward for the cool down. So on to crab walks, one of the harder of the moves. So do take care those with knee issues. Technique first of all, you sit your bottom right back. Knees are level with the toes when you look down. This is crucial for those with sensitive knees. So you squat back into that position and you sidestep. Imagine you're sidestepping through a tunnel. Shoulders back, eyes forwards, tummy muscles in. Timer started, off we go. So as I said, tummy in, shoulders back, eyes forward. Make sure those knees don't come too far forward. A couple of little options. You can make things a little more challenging if you need to by putting the band around just above the knees. You could also put that band just around the ankles, which will be harder still. On the lighter side of things, if you needed to make this one a bit easier, sidestepping, when you get to the side, stand tall. Pop a couple of heel raises in, it just takes the pressure off of the hips slightly. And then you can sit back and you can sidestep again. Again, tummy in, shoulders back, eyes forwards as much as you can. Slightly easier still, simply sidestep, keeping those knees soft and slightly bent. It's not quite so challenging as the other options. So, on to the diagonal lunges then. What I'd like you to think about is 10 to 2 or 10 and 2 on a clock face. You're going to stride out to the 10, press your weight into the foot and push yourself back. Then do the same to the 2 on that clock face. Press forwards at a diagonal and then spring back. Let's start the timer then. So step out on a diagonal. Notice how both feet stay flat. The shoulders stay above the hips, eyes looking forwards. If you needed to, perhaps, you could have a chair in front of you and just stride either side. You are pushing your weight into that foot, allowing the knee to go forwards, but do take care, this could cause some discomfort. So take your time learning this one. Slightly easier, you could do the seated version if you wanted to. Still stepping out on that diagonal, opening through the hips, pushing your weight into the foot, maybe using the arms a little bit, and allowing yourself to lower down slowly afterwards. The key there is to keep everything controlled. Do take a rest if you need to. Build up slowly to this one. It's quite tough on the knees, so beware. Nearly there? Okay. Onto the back curtsy then. Again, this is quite tough on the knees. So standing tall, you're going to step back, bend both knees just to bob down, come back up and step forward. Same with the other foot. Literally is a curtsy. Again, shoulders above the hips. Do not curl or crunch forwards with this one. The key is to keep the shoulders back and the eyes looking forwards. Here we go with the timer then. Notice how the front foot stays flat. The back heel stays off the floor as you do that curtsy. Tummy muscles in, eyes looking forwards. It's quite possible that to start with you might need to use a chair for this one. I've got the chair in front of me. You might prefer to have the chair to the side because this will stop you from falling forwards. You decide what's best for you, of course. You don't want to collapse the chest forwards when you do this one, otherwise you could damage your back. So that's a back curtsy. There's about 10 seconds left on this one. There you go. So I'm now going to show you how to do some upper body work with a resistance band, just to mix the program up a little bit. It's always good to strengthen the arms as well. So sitting forwards on the chair, tummy muscles in, hold the band in front of you, and you're just going to pull back like a bow and arrow. All right, so we're just warming up here. I'm going to set 30 seconds on the timer here instead of a minute. Here we go with 30 seconds then. So body stays still. Pull that elbow right back behind you. Keep the other arm straight out in front. Tummy muscles switched on, feet planted into the floor. There's a variety of directions you can send the arms. This is pulling back. You can twist the upper body a little with this one if you want to. Get some rotation through the waist. There we go, that's your time up on this one. The next one, we're going to press up. Take a little look, keeping one arm locked down to the ribs whilst you press the other one up. If you've got high blood pressure, take care with this one. Here we go with the timer. So yeah, if you've got high blood pressure and you find that this one makes you go a little bit giddy, then it might be suitable just to either crunch the arms in front a little bit more, or maybe not do this one in your routine at all. As before, feet planted into the floor, tummy muscles in, eyes looking forwards. Notice how the body isn't rocking from side to side to press upwards. There we go. And that's your 30 seconds. So the next one, we're going to work the back of the arms and the shoulders by pressing out to the side. Here we go with the timer then. 30 seconds on this one as well. Once again, sat square into the chair, sitting forward slightly, so you're using your torso to support yourself upright rather than the back of the chair. Feet squared off to the floor. Only the arms are moving. Okay then, we're going to do individual arms now with a bicep curl. Notice how one hand is anchoring the band down onto my thigh, the other hand pulling thumb to shoulder. Here we go, 15 seconds on this side then. So it's just that left arm of mine that's working, bringing thumb to shoulder, keeping the elbow pointing down, nothing else is moving. That's nearly 15 seconds on this side. We need to swap sides. Now, I was a bit silly when I was doing my recording. I didn't video myself doing the other arm. You need to swap arms, but you'll see in this video that I'm still doing the same arm, so apologies for that. So anchor the band down onto one thigh, pull thumb to shoulder with the opposite arm. This is working the biceps and the biceps alone. There we go, it's your 15 seconds for that one. The next one works the triceps, the back of the arm. So you're going to attach the band with your hand to one shoulder. The other hand is going to press down like so and straighten the arm. So you're going from a bent arm to a straight arm. Here we go, 15 seconds on this side. Obviously, if you find these 15 seconds aren't long enough, you're welcome to do longer. 3 more seconds on this side then. And we'll swap sides. Once again, I didn't video myself doing the other side, but you do need to do the other side. So the video will show me doing the same side, but you need to use the opposite side. So hand anchors the band to the shoulder, other elbow tucked into the waist, and you press that hand down to work the triceps, the back of the arm. Really important to keep that upper body strong as well as the lower body. That's why it's quite good just to add these extra exercises in. Super, well done. And so on to the cool down then. We're just going to start with a very light march, just to keep the blood flowing a little bit. Keep those joints and muscles loose. You can shake your legs out like I'm doing here if you want to, especially if they ache a little. But otherwise, just a very light march. Okay, now we'll do some toe taps. We'll hold those toe taps just a wee bit longer than we did with the warm-up, with the aim of stretching out the muscles down the front of the shin. Obviously, you can use a chair or the wall to lean on if you feel you need to. Then we're going to do those heel digs. Again, we'll hold that heel dig and stretch just a wee bit longer than earlier. You can let your body tip forwards a fraction, bending the other knee if that's suitable. Again, using a chair for support if necessary. There we go, that should help the legs to recover a little bit. On the waist, we're just going to swing the upper body around, use the arms for a little bit of momentum, winding out through the waist, releasing through the lower back, and just helping the body settle down after the exercise. And then arms down by your sides. We're going to drop fingers towards the knee on each side, Remember, we're keeping our hips still in the centre, keeping our feet flat to the floor. Just go over as far as you can feel a bit of a stretch in the opposite side. And then with the shoulders, we'll roll those shoulders backwards and forwards a few times just to loosen out and release any tension around the neck area. And then we'll turn the head from side to side just to loosen out through that area too. Remember, the warm-up and the cool-down are just as important as the main part of the exercise to prepare the body and then to wind down afterwards. You can tip the head forwards and back as well if that suits with this last little bit. And we'll finish off with a couple of big breaths. Sweep those arms up, nice big breath in, and breathe out as you drop the arms down. We'll do one more just the same. Well done. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.